Let's bring in the CEO of Geltrude Business Technology Solutions, Michael Geltrude. Michael, okay, we are halfway through the week. It is Wednesday. How can investors really feel at this point?
I think they should have reason to be cautiously optimistic. We saw the month of May be maybe the best month of May since the 1990s in the marketplace, but there's a lot of uncertainty still out there. We have tariffs, there's a war in Ukraine, and there's plenty of other headlines. And anytime something comes out in the news, it's going to lead to some volatility in the market. We know that President Trump is in office to really administer a lot of change. That's why he was voted into office. And I will say here that some of the big-time investors do their best and have their best returns when the market is choppy. So just be aware of that.
Very interesting. But Michael, let's shift to Ford. So they're actually reporting a 16% year-over-year sales increase. The company continues to have an employee pricing program amid rising tariff costs and vehicle price increases. How long do you think this will be here to stay?
I think it'll be here to stay as long as these tariffs are in place. When you think about American cars, you think of Ford, right? Henry Ford, the Model T, one of the first mass-produced cars out there, and they're really leaning into the from Americans, for Americans car mentality, and I think that's going to do them a lot of good. At the end of the day, people still need to go from point A to B, and they're really trying to capitalize on their American brand.
Yeah, when you talk about American brands, and you talk about Ford, you know, made in America, do you think that a lot of the other car companies will soon follow suit when it comes to kind of just making everything here stateside?
Yeah, I think ultimately they have to. If you want to be competitive in the marketplace, you really need to lean into this. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these other American car companies especially really lean in that same direction as Ford. They have to remain competitive, and they have shareholders, stakeholders, investors that they have to answer to. At the end of the day, they really need to make sure they have a great bottom line to prove to their investors that they're making money.
Definitely. So with higher inflation and tariff uncertainty, Dollar General is actually raising its annual targets after beating estimates for quarterly profits. This is certainly a sharp contrast in what we've been seeing as a result of those tariffs. I mean, Michael, why are consumers so confident in Dollar General with its stock surging almost 16% yesterday?
I think it's really because we're seeing a lot more middle-class Americans go to Dollar General than ever before. They're looking to save themselves some money where they can. If it's a product where maybe they don't necessarily need a name brand and they just need something that works, they'll go there and buy it. And because these prices are coming down, Americans are moving there to buy these products. Ultimately, they're also producing more American-made products to avoid these taxes. And because of that, their bottom line is increasing. It really is a perfect storm of trying to bring in new customers while also reducing the amount of foreign goods that they're selling.
Yeah, and I was actually really surprised when I was down in Georgia not that long ago. I went into a Dollar General. They had a home goods section. They had a makeup section. I mean, they kind of have a lot for every single person in there. It's really shocking what they now can provide to consumers at such a low price. But lastly, McDonald's is bringing back its iconic snack wrap next month. So after a slow start to the year, the fast food giant is really hoping to make a comeback. This starts July 10th. It's been nearly 2 decades since the food was first introduced in the country, but discontinued all the way back in 2016 after it reportedly slowed kitchens down. Michael, you know, this kind of seems like something so small, maybe trivial, but is this enough to maybe save McDonald's? I mean, people really seem to love these things.
I don't think it's enough to save McDonald's, but it's certainly a step in the right direction. And what I mean by that is they're looking at some of their newer competitors in the marketplace, companies like Chick-fil-A, Raising Cane's, Popeyes, people and companies that are really leaning into chicken. There are many different consumers out there, but they're starting to move away from wanting to eat as much beef and eating more chicken. So this is just a step in the right direction for McDonald's. They're they're identifying that in order to be competitive, they need to move more towards chicken and to provide more options for consumers out there.
Yeah, it's funny you brought up Popeyes because I see that they brought back their chicken wraps, look exactly like the McDonald's ones this week, and I've been seeing people try them out online. Michael Geltrude, thank you so much for joining us this morning. So great seeing you.
Thank you.